Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is 23rd December 2024, Monday. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary, where we talk about what happened yesterday and what is likely to happen today. When I say yesterday, it meant on Friday. So let's dive quickly into it. So what happened on Friday was, it fell down significantly. Nifty declined for the fifth session. Trent and Tech Mahindra led the losses. Nifty slipped below 200 DMA. That is why everybody has become very bearish. The open interest is very high. The short open interest also is supposed to be very high as per some analysis. So therefore, you can expect lots of question mark today, even though US markets have done well. So mid cap and Nifty small cap also declined. Everything declined. Realty declined. Nifty IT also declined in spite of opening brighter. PSU Bank has been being hammered because there is a rumor in the market that government will ask the banks to give collateral-free lending to the rural sector up to about 2 lakhs. But we don't know whether that is true. Similar to what rumor was there before the GST meeting, which said 35% cess will be introduced, which was not. So one has to be very careful when we look at rumors, especially spread by the what I call the blue channels, the channels which are the business channels which always try to game you. Somebody has gamed us on the 35%. Nobody will get caught, but that is India for you. Anyway, so Nifty auto declined for the fourth session. This is where I'm having a little bit of a problem because while November was record breaking, December has not really lived up to its expectations. For instance, if you look at Vahan data, last year December was 20 lakhs registrations. This year, as we speak, it is only about 13 lakhs. So we've got about 6 days left for the year to end. So maybe we'll do 50,000 per day. Even if we do, then we'll end up with 16 lakhs or best 17 lakhs, which means it's still lower than last year, despite lots of weddings happening and despite lots of, what shall I say, the government putting money into the rural sector. Nothing seems to be working. Two-wheelers are doing well, apparently. Four-wheelers are not doing that well. Nifty Energy declined. Nifty, that is led by Adani Green again. And Reliance also was one of the major losers. Reliance is at a 52-week low. Everybody has given up hope on that. Incidentally, we hold Reliance in our portfolio, and it's also part of our Deepavali to Pongal. I'm willing to wait till the weekend, as I mentioned yesterday. Metals declined for the sixth session. There is some good news on metals, which talks of, again, this is a rumor, which government is looking at imposing duties. If they do it, JSW Steel and Tata Steel should do well. US market on highly oversold conditions and the PCE data coming good. It took off so Dow ended up higher, S&P, NASDAQ. NVIDIA was the biggest gainer on Dow Jones. Treasury yield retreated on Friday. Dollar has pulled back from 2-year high, and Bitcoin went up to 108, and now it is now at 94. Commodities did do nothing big. Oil was in the 72, 73 range. Gold slightly improved, and silver also improved, but silver had been beaten down to about $29. So on Friday, there were only two stocks in the Nifty which contributed positively. One was Dr. Reddy and ICICI Bank. Dr. Reddy because of a positive upgrade from one of the foreign brokerages. Nifty contributed negatives. Of course, Reliance led it. HDFC Bank is under pressure because they got some negative news from RBI as far as they have regulatory problems there. Axis Bank down, again some problems on the regulatory front. TCS and L&T were the others. So rest of the week, if you take what happened, India versus the rest of the week, India was the worst performer last week, down close to 5% Nifty, and the others were, the next one was Kospi. Kospi has got a political problem there, but still less than 4%. DAX 2.5%. NASDAQ was less than 1%, less than 2%. Nikkei was less than 2%. S&P was about 2%, and Shanghai was the best performing in terms of decline only of 0.7. Today, as I said, steel companies may be under in the spotlight, but it is still rumor, so I'd be careful. L&T, I think, has been beaten beyond shape. We don't have L&T, but I think it's a very interesting stock to look at. Zomato is entering Sensex today. Generally, one has observed that when a stock enters the mainline indices, either the Nifty, Bank Nifty, or Sensex, then they peak out and then they start their decline. So this has been seen in other stocks. Whether Zomato will happen in Zomato, we don't know, but it is worthwhile observing. We don't have Zomato. Neither do we have any recommendation. Fortis Healthcare should be positive because they acquired some stake in Agilis Diagnostics. So generally, healthcare stocks are in the limelight. And NTPC Green Energy, of course, is in the news, signing MOUs left, right, center. But these are long-term projects. So I don't think one should just jump and buy. This is what I was talking about. BofA Securities and Auto. December retail is ending the year on a slow note, and PV demand is holding up, passenger vehicle demand, that is, backed by high discounts. So it is not that the four-wheeler manufacturers get a good margin. And that note on GST means that companies like Maruti, which is into selling second-hand cars, will get into trouble. So is a company like Car Trade, which is only into selling of second-hand vehicles. So two-wheeler demand also seems to have cooled down as per the research, and financing stress is coming up mainly because of the microfinance companies, it looks like. Of course, Bajaj Auto is something well as far as the EV is concerned. I would just like to bring just one other point here, where what kind of pattern could happen today? What kind of pattern could happen today? It is just my thing. So this pattern, if you see, this is in August. After the end, which strengthened dramatically, global markets fell. Here, nothing like that happened this time, but still global markets fell and then they bounced back. So this is a pattern which came down and then it bounced back and then it came down on 14th of August, just before independence, where we had this situation where market was in very bad shape. It had fallen down, almost touching the low of what we saw on the August 5th. Now, at that point of time, when we went into the Independence Day holiday, there was a lot of nervousness, like what happened here. But on 14th and 15th in the US, the market went up. We opened higher, but there was heavy selling in the first 1 hour. And around 12 o'clock, the market bottomed out and then took off. And then you see it went like anything up. So I am expecting some kind of a situation like this. The reason being more important, I'm talking not the number of points which went up that day, 400 points. What I'm saying, the pattern was here on 13th of August. The market was extremely bearish, but the US market went up on 14th and 15th. It went up nearly 800 points, and then we opened higher. But because it was a very bearish undertone, it got sold off in the first hour. Only when it crossed the first hour high, which is around 12 o'clock that day, it took off. So today I'm going to look at the first hour high and then only decide about whether to go long. I believe strongly for the day, the market should do well. It should go up. As I keep saying, we are in the best period of time. Today, global markets are all up. Asian markets are up. Then you have the Dow futures and the Nasdaq futures, everything up. The GIFT Nifty is not talking too much, though from the lows on that day it went up 180 points, but that is nullified because it had fallen down 180 points. So there is nothing GIFT Nifty is showing us. But I am definitely bullish. I am waiting for the first hour high to be crossed. Then you are for a day trader, that will be what we call Chandi Sona. If it declines significantly the first hour, I'm still a buyer, but I will not put too much of effort in that. But my effort will redouble if and when it crosses the first hour high. It is not necessary that these patterns repeat, but there is a high probability because the conditions are the same. Extreme bearishness, extreme highly open interest, extreme sentiment poor, and positioning on the downside, and it breaking 200 EMA. So therefore, and we are talking of the seasonality. So all this makes me feel that we should get a good rally going into the year end and as well as till Pongal. So I am continue to be bullish. So whatever you do today, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.